Welcome to Gordon Guitar. We have Gracie Abrams here. We had her before on this channel. Always great songs. This time we have a song called Difficult. So it's a pretty straightforward song, one strumming, and pretty easy chords to handle as well. We don't need any capo either for this one, so just let's start with this one. So let's go over the chords first. We have the D here, so that will be open D, second G, third B, and second E. Next chord will be G, so that is third on E, second on A, open D, open G, third B, and third E. A next, so that is open A, second D, second G, second B, and open E. Then we have the B minor 7. So that's a bar here on the second fret from the A string down. So all strings except from the last string here on top. So a bar there in second, and the rest will be fourth on D and third on B. And the final chord will be E minor. So that is open E, second A, second D, open G, open B, and open E. Okay, so before we go into the chord progression here, we'll look at the strumming pattern that will work pretty much through the entire song, except for some parts with only one down. Otherwise, it's the strumming that goes. And the first chord will be D. So let's grab that D. And one round of strumming will be down, up, down, up. So very easy. All right. So down, up, down, up. Like that. Down, up is one round. And if you can just try to emphasize the second and last down into that strumming. And you do that in the way that you do a full downstroke on that one. The other downs and ups, you just do shorter downs and ups. So down, up, down, down, up, down. You play more on the bass strings on the other downs and ups, but on that down, the second, you want to emphasize that with a full downstroke. So even incorporate the higher top notes there. So that's how you handle the strumming. Down, up is one round. Now we're ready for the chord progression. So let's start with the first verse. This one goes pretty fast, but I will take down the tempo. So I believe it's the best way here to speak meanwhile we're playing. It's that simple. So let's go for D2, G4, and A2 for 2 rounds. So starting with D2, G4, 2, 3, 4, and then A2. Again, D2, G4, 3, 4, A2, then D2 again, G4, A2. So far we played 3 rounds of this D2, G4, and A2, and then we're gonna end this with D2 and G2. Okay, so that is kind of the half of the first verse. So it was D2, G4, and A2 for 3 rounds, and then D2 and G2. So try to remember that part. Then we'll have just middle parts here with G2 and A2. And then it will repeat itself again, this first big chunk of a part there, the D2, G4, and A2 for 3 rounds. And then you end with the D2 and G4 for this second round. So we went through the first part here, and we're now in the lyrics, and I've been thinking that, so that's the middle part here. We'll play G2 and A2. And now now we'll start again the first part we learned. So we'll go through that again. D2, G4, A2, D2, G4, A2, D2, G4, A2, and now D2 and G4. That is the end of first verse. So it's pretty long, this one. So just to summarize everything here, we played from the beginning here D2, G4, A2. That short chord progression you play for 3 rounds, and then you end with D2 and G2. Okay, so that is the first half, you can say, of the verse. Then we have just a middle play here with G2 and A2. And then you will repeat this first half again. So D2, G4, and A2 for 3 rounds. And then you end with D2 and G4. Okay, so that is a big first verse, but that is how it goes. And then comes the chorus and the lyrics, "Oh, I know spiraling is miserable." So we will have the same strumming here with the chords D4, B minor 7 4 times, E minor 4 times, and A 4 times. Okay, so you will play that chord progression for 2 rounds, but on the second and last round, you play, instead of A4, like you play in the first round, you play A2 instead, plus a pause, and this pause kind of ends this chorus. Okay, so I'm gonna take you through this. So let's go with D4. B minor 4, E minor 4, A4. Let's start this again. D4, B minor 4, E minor 4, and now A2. Also pause. And that ends the chorus there, and that takes us to the second verse. The second verse is played in the same way as the first verse, so nothing changes there, and the same goes with the second chorus. So after the second chorus, we have this post-chorus part, where you're saying it's just difficult, I'm difficult. So here you're gonna play A2, D2, and G4. That again, A2, D2, and G4. That's the post-chorus chords. That takes us to the third verse. Okay, so this third verse is played with just 1 down per chord. Okay, so you're gonna play A, D, and G. This. Again, A, D, G, A, D, G, and the fourth and final round here, A, D, and G. So 4 times A, D, G, 1 down per chord. That is the third verse, okay? And then we have the final chorus left. The third one is played in the same way as the previous choruses. The only difference here is it's twice as long. And with that final chorus, it ends here for Gracie Abrams' song called Difficult. So not that difficult, guys. Goes pretty fast. I think that is the challenge here in the song when it comes to strumming and so on, to kind of switch between these chords. But the chords are very easy to handle, so I don't think it's that hard. So a great song there. Give it a try, and I hope that helps. Till next time, play tuned.